folks are ready, I'll call the meeting to order. Is there any additions to the agenda? I don't see anything from administration unless you got something on your...
One correction, if I may, Reeve and Council, and one addition. So,
Okay.
good morning. First, the correction on the 10:15 public hearing. It should read for bylaw 1237-26. That was a misprint in the agenda, so just a correction there to 1.1237 on that bylaw number. And one addition just from this morning, Councillor Gunderson is requesting the addition under general matters of item 12A regarding the golf tournament. There's an update, and I believe he's seeking some direction from council for administration. That's all we have, Reeve.
Anybody else? Okay, and a motion to accept the agenda as amended? Shane?
I move to accept the agenda as amended.
Discussion, all those in favor? Carried unanimous. We've got the minutes of the council meeting, pages 9 to 14. Any errors, omissions, corrections, comments? Just even an acknowledgement that you're all listening. Shane, your lights out.
I move to accept the, or adopt the minutes of the council meeting of April 21st, 2026, regular council meeting as presented.
Discussion, all those in favor? Carried unanimous. Follow-up action list, Rudy?
Just one item updated for Reeve and Council, motion 216, the last one on the list, following our enclosed discussion regarding the ombudsman. That was an email update was sent to council, so I believe that concludes that matter.
Okay. Someone want to make a motion to accept the follow-up action list? Anybody? A motion to accept the follow-up action list as presented? Shane?
I move to accept the follow-up action list as presented. I don't
Discussion?
have to do anything else for the rest of the day.
Discussion? Follow. Just keep your hand up. Steady, Shane. All right, we've got the CAO report.
Thank you, Reeve. One more bylaw this morning for, we're seeking for council to repeal this old bylaw. It appears pages 15 to 20 in your council package. This bylaw dates back into the 80s when we were jointly involved in the landfill with the town of Drayton Valley. So as with the other stale-dated bylaws, administration is seeking the 3 required readings to repeal this bylaw this morning. That would be bylaw 1245-26.
Everything I used to be involved in is just being deleted. It's like my history is being deleted because I was the chairman of the landfill for quite a while. All right, so
I'm ready.
go ahead.
I move that council give first reading to bylaw 1245-26 to repeal bylaw 94-90.
Thanks, Aria. All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Someone wish to give second reading? Carol?
I move to give second reading to bylaw 1245-26 to repeal bylaw 94-90.
All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Anybody want to give third reading? Dallas, you usually like that one. Want to go to it? Yeah.
I do. I'd love to go to. I'll move to go to third reading, 1245-26.
Discussion? All those in favor? Glenn, you want to give third reading?
I move to give third and final reading to bylaw 1245-26 to repeal bylaw 94-90.
All those in favor? Carried unanimous. All right, we're too early for any of these public hearings, so we'll go to, you're up there. Fire services. Tom? Is that for me? Well, I had the tank truck going on the weekend. We had a little fire. The brush pile rekindled, so we took the tank right out and got it all warmed up and sprayed the brush pile down. Go ahead. Yeah.
there we go. Sorry, my paper knocked the,
We can hear you, but that makes it worse.
So good morning, everybody. I'm here again this morning to provide council with an update on the WASP program, otherwise known as the Wildfire Advanced Sprinkler Protection Program. It is Emergency Management Week this week, so Mr. Friesen and I thought it would be appropriate to give council an update on this project. So back in May of 2025, the fire service came to council with a proposal to provide residential sprinklers to the rural community. We went through the whole presentation, and council liked the presentation and decided to pursue the project. So hence is why we're here today. So the WASP program, for those councillors that are new to council, it's a two-pronged approach to fire protection. The first one is an education piece where we have 9 assessors that have been trained in advanced home fire protection, and they are assessors that come out to the residents and provide advice on how to make the property more fire resilient. That's the first part of the program. Once that is done, the assessor will create a report for the homeowner, and then the assessor will provide the homeowner with a WASP kit, which is I have here today, and I will show that to you. The WASP kit contains 2 sprinkler heads. Also, it contains fire hose as well as the supports to put the sprinklers up. The assessors are not there to harass residents or to discipline residents, so to speak. They're there simply to provide education and support for residents. I know sometimes there's a reluctance for residents to bring people in uniform onto their property, but we're not there to enforce anything. We are there simply to provide education and to help make the property safer. So that's what the program basically is about. It is free to residents, so the assessment is free as well as the sprinkler kit. The only cost is the time of the residents to spend time with our assessor and go through their property and learn about fire safety. So I have a sprinkler kit here. I'll just pass it around. You can feel free to open it up and have a look inside. So in order to get the program up and running, there was a bit of a cost to it. There was a cost to purchase the WASP kits as well. We also had to purchase fire department equipment. So when these things are deployed, the fire department is now able to drop a drop tank and then provide a hose to connect to the sprinkler system. So we can drop the drop tank, put a pump there, and then the system can be deployed, and then we can move on to another residence. The other parts of the costs for the program was to pay to train our staff to become certified assessors with Fire Smart Canada. That was another part. We also had to modify some of our trailers to receive the equipment that we needed to deploy these systems. So the total cost of the project was $108,975. To date, we have spent $70,000, so now we have all of the equipment in place. We have everybody trained. We have all of the WASP kits, so we are pretty much ready to go. So council was also generous enough to provide another $28,000 for this year if needed. We will see where we're at, and if we need it, we'll use it. If not, we won't use that money. So just to provide an update, so far at this point, There was a little bit of a delay last year because by the time we ordered the equipment, by the time we did the training, by the time we got the assessors all sorted out, it wasn't until about July that we actually started going out and doing the assessments. So there was a little bit of a time delay to get everything in place. We have all of that now, so we are now able to run with the program right away, and we will be advertising the program this week. So we'll start this week. So we've already had people calling the fire department looking to sign up for this year. So that's a great thing. So we are hoping by presenting this today and putting it out in the media that we will get more people to sign up for it. Let's see, what else can I tell you? Moving forward, as I mentioned, the department is planning to continue on doing assessments of people's property and providing the sprinkler systems. We are also planning on doing another assessment training session, so we have more assessors trained. And we are also modifying a trailer out at Station 2 Breton so that it can receive some of the equipment that we purchased last year. So if we need to deploy in a hurry, we have trailers available on both sides of the river that we can quickly deploy. And that is pretty much my report, and I'll turn it over to council if you have any questions.
How many people can you assess in a year, like, to see how their farm ranks on the fire smart?
How many can we do in a year?
Yeah.
We have 9 assessors, and we can have them going pretty much on a daily basis. So I haven't done the math on that, but we can do quite a few. If we need to get them done, we can get them done.
Yeah, because we were all campaigning there less than a year ago, and there was lots of hazards that I saw, junkyards to wood piles packed up next to a trailer to just a lot of things that it was just a wreck.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, and I'm not, I don't blame anybody for it. There's just people just aren't knowledgeable in fire smarting. We are now living in a different time where wildfires are running through communities on a regular basis, and we need to be smarter about fire safety. And that's all we're here to do, is to provide education for residents.
Any questions, Carol?
Not a question, but just a thank you. I was a recipient of your wildfire protection kit last fall. We haven't got all of those things put in place yet, but I thought we were doing a pretty good job about being fire smart. We had a bunch of deadfall removed to the east of our house and had it all wood chipped down, and made sure that it was a lot away from the house. But you guys came out, did an inspection, and found a few things that we just didn't see. So it's a great program, and highly encourage people to get involved with it and take advantage of it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, well, thanks, Tom.
Okay.
All right, we've got, still early, boy, we're smoking along here. Agriculture Services. Don, you go ahead.
Good morning, Reeve Council. Today, I'm starting on page 80. We have an RFD for AG3 Herbicide Rebate Program Policy. So last year in 2025, Council did add the program budget as a standard line item, not an annually approved budget component. So the changes to the policy reflect that, as well as just some changes to clarify on the eligibility criteria, who has to purchase the herbicide, things like that. So yeah, there's a couple of changes there in red on 82 and 83. And if there's any questions?
Kara?
I move to approve the AG3 herbicide rebate program policy as amended.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Thanks, Tanya.
Thank you.
It's getting easier and easier to deal with this, isn't it?
And then I also have an item on page 84. We have our annual appointment of our weed and pest inspectors. So in order to be able to complete our inspection programs in the summertime, council is required to appoint the inspectors annually. So we have a list there in the recommended actions that council appoint that group as weed and pest inspectors.
All right, Shane?
Do I gotta say all the names? Yes. Oh, okay. I'm going to pre-apologize for butchering names. I move that council appoints Jenna Smith, Hannah Mahan, Alexis Bonato, Jocelyn Anderson, Riley Rogers, Aaliyah Tuttle, Titus Penner, and Evan Denisuk as weed and pest inspectors, valid until termination of employment.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous.
Thank you.
Solid waste transfer stations, resident survey. Who's decoding that? Pippa?
Good morning, Region Council. Administration recently conducted a resident survey to better understand the satisfaction rates regarding waste transfer station services in Brazeau County. The survey was advertised through multiple channels and offered several ways for residents to provide feedback, and it was open for 6 weeks. The survey got a 24% response rate, which is about 875 residents, so it indicated strong engagement. The results show that council is providing a solid level of service, with 88% of respondents indicating that services are working well. Detailed statistics are on the second page there. Overall, the results are very positive. The resident satisfaction is high, and services, operating schedules, and accessibility are generally meeting the community needs. So administration will continue to take a proactive approach in anticipating service requirements and confirming that current service levels are aligned with resident expectations. These findings support maintaining the current service model and will continue to monitor for targeted improvements where needed.
So it looks like a pretty positive response back, I'd say, and it helps to reflect how much garbage is wasted on the roads and things like that, which reminds me, Rennie from Harvest, Rennie Levesque, on 83, there's some garbage piled up on there.
Oh, okay.
That needs to be dealt with, Rudy. So I think he called Jesse out, so Jesse will know the exact location. So you may want to check with him to see where this is at. There may be 2 issues there with him. So I just brought it forward. This is perfect timing, right? So,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah, some topic.
they were piling across from Mike Mueller's place too, on the lease roads there. They just dump the garbage and go. But
Okay.
there hasn't been any lately, so part of that is people get frustrated. The transfer station isn't open, so they just find their own transfer station. Any other comments, questions?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead, Dallas.
Yeah, so last year we put the engine oil, transmission fluids out at Lindale there. What's the response been on that, and any feedback that you're aware of?
It's been positive so far. It's only been officially advertised for about 3 weeks now, and we had to get all our final safety inspections and everything. But checking in with the attendant there, it's working well. We are getting some response. There has been a few questions. Is it going to be moved different places? We indicated we would have this in this spot, I think, when we talked about it for about a year. Bring council a bit of a feedback on how it's going in that location, and then open up conversation if there was wants to move it or have additional ones at the county.
Sounds good.
Is there anything done in the Easy Ford area for people to dump their oil?
Just small jugs.
We do have the waste roundup, annually too, so that's coming up in June at all the locations. The only one that won't be at a location will be the Violet Grove, because that one's undergoing construction right now. So the waste roundup for Violet Grove will be held at the old shop in town.
And that's just during the roundup time.
Yeah, yeah. Otherwise, it's open for residents. Yeah.
Yeah, so generally, the data that we have looks like it's working pretty well. I mean, I use the waste transfer station, I think we all do, and we're pretty satisfied with the service. But what are those little red spots? Services do not work well. Have there been any specific complaints or areas of improvement that we can make?
So in going through the survey, there was you'd had the odd response talking about the times, right? But what we looked at was the whole survey and those total results. And so, yes, you'd have 2 responses out of 100 that would, prefer a different time.
Yep.
But overall, that wasn't the general ask of the community. Yeah.
Glenn?
Thank you.
Thank you, Reeve, through the chair. The only complaint I've ever really had as a resident was concerned about businesses utilizing the
Right.
waste transfer station. That would be more campgrounds, bringing in lots of material, right?
Yeah.
And it should be hauled to the, is there some way, or are we ensuring that that isn't happening, or?
So the transfer station cards do get renewed every 2 years. So coming up this August 1st, there'll be new transfer station cards being sent out. And businesses are not on that list to receive the transfer station cards. There is a bit of a loophole there. If the title of the land is under a personal name and somebody happens to run a business or a campground, there's not really a way of knowing that.
Okay.
And so it's hard to vet that, and I think that falls into a bit of a gray area
So
there.
there's nothing we can do about that then?
It's a little bit hard. So we don't provide a business name or a business on a title with a transfer station card. But if the title is under a personal name, then they are able within that policy to get a
So that
transfer
would
station
even
card.
include like a mechanical facility or demolition operation or something like that, they could bring in waste from those operations, if it's on a title as.
If they had a title that was under a personal name.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
You don't want to waste the waste, there's a lot of money in iron. We're hauling iron in all the time. We're cleaning up different farms, picking up all the steel and stuff, and there's money. Like, you get $1,000 a trailer load kind of thing. So there's actually some real value in cleaning up your yards with the steel and the junk. Every time I buy a chunk of land, I'm hauling in 4 or 5 loads to the steel guys there.
One more quick question.
All right, go ahead, Glenn, or,
You can call me Glenn today, that's fine. Do we have any data on the volume of material that our waste transfer stations are moving annually?
Yep. Yeah, so I actually just included that in, I think, the annual report that I submitted, so you'll see that out. I'm not sure when that gets published. But I can send an email to council, so quarterly we have those numbers, and then we have the annual numbers too. So if interested, I can share that out to council after via email.
Okay, that'd be great, thank you.
Yeah.
all right,
Thank you.
we need a motion here.
Yes.
Go ahead, Glenn.
I move to receive the solid waste transfer stations resident feedback survey update report to council for information.
Discussion, all those in favor? Carried unanimous. Drayton Valley and District Ag Society, are you here to speak to that,
Yep.
Lee? Okay.
So page 88, administration received an in-kind support request from the Drayton Valley and District Ag Society for the improvements to the Lions Rodeo Grounds in Drayton Valley. Attachment 1 on page 90 is their application. The Lions Rodeo Grounds are a facility owned by the town of Drayton Valley, and the Lions Club has a use agreement for operating. The rodeo grounds are not a named facility under the Recreation Cost Sharing Agreement with the town of Drayton Valley. Ag Society is working with the Lions Club to utilize the Lions Rodeo Grounds for ag events for 2026. The Ag Society has requested 20 truckloads of sand, approximately 350 square meters. Administration has confirmed that the total cost of the sand is $4,622 plus GST. The request is not linked to a specific event. It won't be under the event grants, but Fin 7 does allow for a recreation funding stream, for which there is no administration thresholds. As a result, the request for support is being brought forward to council's consideration. On page 89 is the breakdown under finance there, as far as the sand and the operator and the hauling. So, anyway, Brazeau County, yeah, for your consideration, yeah.
Okay, what do you guys think there? Dallas?
Terrible idea. So Lee, 250 ton of sand, what happens to the sand after the rodeo? Does it stay stockpiled there somewhere, or what happens to it?
I think it's just going to stay there. They usually haul it to, usually there's, yeah, you mean in the arena, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. They get it hauled to usually a farm or something, yeah. I don't know if that would be, yeah, useful. I'm not
Okay.
sure how much I could check into that, yeah.
So is this our fines from our gravel, from our crusher, our gravel pits, or is this actually, where does the sand come from?
I would have to check. So I got the quote from Public Works, and I'd have
We
to ask
have a
them.
big sand pit out there north of Rocky Rapids there. It's solid sand.
Yeah.
It's first class, so. So there isn't much work to it.
Yeah, nice. Okay, because I just wondered, like at our gravel yards, we got those fines at our gravel pits. We have those fines that we are basically useless. It's a liability for us to have. I just wonder if that's a preferable aggregate to use. I don't know.
You'd have to ask the Ag Society on that. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure how that compares to sand. I don't know.
Okay, thanks, Lee.
Oh, those fines really pack nice in your yard. I buy them specially. They're not useless. They're worthwhile. Yeah. Shane?
Through the chair, so who owns the Lions ground? Is that the town or the county? The town does.
The rodeo grounds are owned by the town, and then the Lions Club has an agreement.
Okay.
So they've done that for many years, and then as the Ag Society is looking at doing multiple events, so they're looking at improving the grounds, so.
Do we know if the town has been asked or anything?
I can't say, yep.
Okay.
Does the 4-H use that as well? Same area?
Does which, the 4-H?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Not to put you on the spot, Elton, did you want us to come speak, or? I can answer a lot of those questions. Yeah, yeah. Do you want to give Elton?
Yeah. Somebody want to make a
Permission to-
motion to allow Alton to speak?
Yeah, I'd move to Brazeau County Council, allow a member of the public to come speak.
Discussion, all those in favor? Carried unanimous. So, go ahead, you can answer them, where does the sand
Well,
go when it leaves?
was there a specific question, or?
Well, there was one there that Dallas asked about, where does the sand go after it's used? Is it stockpiled somewhere, or is it just incorporated
The
into?
sand out of the arena now, or that's in the Omniplex for that rodeo? Well, I don't know where the sand goes from the Omniplex after. In years past, it just got hauled away. But it's a good point, because we had talked about that previous, like, that sand could come out of there now and just go over to the Lions Club grounds. It probably won't be quite enough, but it'll be a good start, right? And as far as our idea with the sand that was going into the Lions Club grounds, we're probably only using it for a year. They want to actually take out the buck and shoots and the stock pens and stuff that are there. And then we're hoping to have our own ground to go to. So we were going to take the sand with us and reuse it. Just scrape it up after, because what they want to do is an amphitheater, and I don't know if the tractor pull will keep going there or not, but the tractor pull doesn't really want the sand in there, so it wouldn't stay there and go to waste. We would reuse it for sure.
All right, what about the type of sand? Is there a type of
Sand, yeah.
prefer?
Like I heard you talking about manufactured fines, and that is great stuff, but it packs up like a road top, and it's not exactly ideal, right? So, no, you need sand. Just like is put in the Bratton Arena for the Gymkhana there, the Lions Club, or the Lindale grounds, or the indoor rodeo, it's like actual sand.
Carol?
If I may, coming off a very successful pro rodeo this last weekend, which was attended by lots in our community. And I'd like to see the revitalization of those grounds in the Lions Park. Alden, could you tell us, please, why it is that you require the sand? What's there now, and why do you require the sand?
Well, I probably don't have to tell you, most people here aren't old enough to remember a rodeo. Well, maybe a few being in there, but it's been like 25 years since there's actually been a rodeo in there. And the sand is just gone. Like, it was used for tractor pulls and stuff, and it's just not suitable anymore. We needed a place to go. We're hosting multiple events. We've resurrected the old Gymkhana Club that was in town 50-some years ago. We're hosting 7 Thursday night rodeos there, so every other Thursday night all summer we'll have a full-scale rodeo. August 21st, 22nd, 23rd, we're holding a PBR bull riding, open bronc riding, and a ranch rodeo. So we just need a place to go. The grounds are in terrible disrepair. Probably going to cost the Ag Society about 25 grand just to fix them up. And we're using them for 1 year. But the deal we made with the Lions is when we're done, we'll take the steel down that they don't need, and we'll take it with us. So, well, we need an announcer's booth. We've had to buy one of those. It needs a lot. So we got a busy month ahead of us.
So, if I may, so you're working to basically revitalize those grounds for a good season of solid events
Yeah,
going forward.
yeah. Close to 20 events, separate events we're going to hold there this summer.
Nice, thank you.
So they're looking for some sand in kind that has a value of 4,600. You're not asking for any cash, though, just the sand in kind.
No, we're saving that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Glenn?
Are you ready for a motion then?
Yeah.
Okay, I move that Brazeau County Council approves in-kind support of 20 truckloads of sand delivered to the Lions Rodeo grounds through the Fin 7 Recreation Grant component.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. You got your way this time, Alden.
Nice. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we are down to RCMP follow-up. Sorry, I couldn't hear you, Tina.
12A, if I may. So this is the Charity Golf Classic invitation, and basically the town is going to invite 3 VIPs, MPs, or ministers, and they will be attending on, the money for them to attend will be taken out of the main pot from the sponsorship. So our committee is recommending the Minister of Transportation, Devin Dreeshen, our MLA, Andrew Boychenko, and the Minister of Municipal Affairs, Dan Williams. So any discussion, otherwise I'll make a motion just that the county sends out that invitation on their letterhead, and it comes from administration and signed by the Reeve. Sounds fair then? I move to direct administration to draft a letter to invite the Minister of Transportation, Devin Dreeshen, MLA Andrew Boychenko, and Minister of Municipal Affairs, Dan Williams, to the 2026 Joint Charity Golf Classic, July 17th, 2026.
Who's speaking on the issue with the RCMP? I am? a good meeting. We've built a relationship with K Division for quite some time now. They quite enjoy meeting with us because we don't give them a hard time. We ask important questions like funding and things like that, a lot of which is not in their control, but they seem to be there for us anyway. So I don't know what you guys thought, but pretty casual meeting with us. We seem to know all of the players at the table, so. All right. It's good that they meet with us. I think we haven't had a lot of issues with them, so it makes it for a much friendlier meeting. So. And we make them laugh sometimes. All right.
Do you want a motion?
Pardon me?
Do you want a motion?
Sure.
I move to receive the correspondence from the RCMP for information.
Discussion, all those in favor? Carried unanimous. Council reports. We need a motion to approve all the council reports. Boy, it's hard to pry people to make a motion.
I'll make it.
Aria,
I move to approve the council reports from March 2026 as information.
everybody was pretty busy, I see, by the looks of the meetings everybody attended. All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Annual Cadet Review, May 30th, and supper, June 2nd. They're looking after our building for us. What do you guys want to do? You want to send somebody there? Do you want to send all of council there? 2 people, 1 person? Shane?
If there's anybody that can go, I think that's probably not a bad idea and show some support for our cadets. So I would, if there's nobody, I'd like to make a motion
Okay.
to approve council's attendance to the ACR supper. Or is that?
Sorry, there's one dignitary they'll buy supper for, but you're all welcome to the review.
So. Is there something going on for some reason? I thought June 2nd was. There's what?
Oh, June 2nd.
Just the council meeting? I don't know if everybody has to go. I think you could send a couple people. Or even just one if you want. Pardon me? I can go as long as I'm not tied up to something else. I was a cadet too.
So there's 2 events. On the 30th is the parade where they bring the cadets by and you help them with their, recognize them. And then the supper is a different evening.
No. Okay, you guys make a motion, we'll deal with it. I would suggest you just send one at each event, 1 or 2, that's about it. Have they asked anybody to speak or anything like that?
No, during the parade, I believe the dignitary takes hands with the
Okay, I'll throw something out there. I move that Reeve and/or delegate attends the June 30th cadet review, and that 2 members of council attend the June 2nd supper? Or just one? One, sorry. One member of council attend the June 2nd supper. Does that make sense? Okay.
Okay. Discussion? All those in favor? Okay. I can. I have spoke with the cadets before, and just my history allowed me to participate in that for a number of years. It inspired me to get my pilot's license. All right.
If I may, Reeve,
Pardon me?
if I may. If-
Yes.
If you are looking for an alternative, I also went through the cadet, I didn't go through the cadets, but my son did.
Okay.
And I worked on their board, so if you need an alternative, I'd be more than happy to attend.
Okay. All right, Seniors Appreciation Tea, June 3rd. Is that at the lodge, Carol? Or at the Legion? Somebody want to attend this? Aria? You can probably have a couple people go to that and mingle around a bit. Kara? Okay. I've been to it before. All right, all those, oh, we need a motion, I guess. Glenn?
Okay. I move to authorize Councillor Harris and Councillor Westland to attend the Seniors Appreciation Tea, June 3rd, 2026.
Discussion? All those in favor? That's carried unanimous.
But I'm gonna go anyway, so.
Okay, so we authorize 2 to go? That's what the motion said? All right, the ratification of the attendance at the Drayton Valley Rodeo Parade. That was quite a nice event. I took some pictures. On my way out, I took a picture of a couple of girls stopped off at A&W on their horses. And so I couldn't help myself. I had to take a picture of them at A&W. I sent it to Ken there. It was, they got some attention there. All right. Go ahead, Shane.
I would like to move to ratify, or no, hold up. I move to ratify council attendance to the,
No, not council attendance. Well, council attendance.
and the team.
Yes. Yeah, we moved to,
What am I ratifying? Ratify, I move that we ratify the
council's attendance at the rodeo.
council's attendance. Man, everybody's talking. Yeah. We got about 8. Okay. So we just need to pay. Ratify the team of force. Okay, that's what we're doing. Too many people are talking. I move to ratify the team of forces and handler for May 2nd for the 2026. And Teamster for the 2026 Drayton Valley Rodeo Parade at the cost of $897.75, funding from council's public relations budget.
Any discussion?
There we
Not
go.
that we haven't had any already, but any more discussion? All those in favor? Okay, that's carried unanimous. Invitation for me to attend the outreach graduation on June 24th. I would prefer you make a motion, Reeve and or designate, in case something. Aye. have to move the microphone over, otherwise we can see your mouth moving, but can't hear you. Oh, you got one down there?
Yeah,
Oh, well, I can't see that.
good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so I have rezoning application 26A dash 0. Oh, sorry.
Carol?
I move we go into public hearing for bylaw 1236-26 at 10 o'clock.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Now you can take it away.
Okay, now I can go. Okay. So I have rezoning application 26A-001, which is located on pages 28 through 36 of your agenda package. It has been submitted to rezone approximately 6.27 acres from agricultural to agricultural holdings within a portion of Southeast 31-48-8 west of the 5th meridian. And this would allow for the subdivision of an equally sized parcel. The subject lands are located immediately west of Range Road 85 and immediately north of Township Road 485. Both the proposed Lot 1 and remnant parcel are intended to have access from Township Road 485, as shown on land location map on page 30. The application was circulated for review and comments to external agencies, internal departments, and adjacent landowners. External comments were received from Fortis Alberta and TELUS, who identified that they had no concerns, easements, or objections. Alberta Energy Regulator advised of the location of wells and pipelines, which require setbacks for future development, but which do not impact the proposed rezoning and subdivision. Grand Tierra Canada Ltd. had no specific concerns with the rezoning and subdivision, but provided information regarding the construction and development around Grand Tierra Canada Ltd. assets. Internal comments were provided by Public Works and Agricultural Services. Public Works identified that the road widening has been obtained, but approach upgrades may be required to the existing approach to proposed Lot 1. This requirement will be addressed as conditions of approval at the subdivision stage. Agricultural Services advised on the soil conditions but had no concerns regarding the rezoning and subdivisions. No letters of concern were received from adjacent landowners. Policy considerations were set out in the report to Council on April 7th, 2026, and confirmed that the proposed rezoning is consistent with Brazeau County's Municipal Development Plan and Land Use Bylaw, and the lands do not fall within any intermunicipal development plan or area structure plan. It is the recommendation of administration that second and third readings be given to Bylaw 1236-26 for the rezoning of 6.27 acres within a portion of Southeast 31-48-8 west of the 5th meridian from agricultural to agricultural holdings. Thank you.
Questions, Councillor? Is there anybody from the public that want to speak in this particular application? Anybody online? Okay, so administration is recommending that this be approved, give second and third reading.
I'm live.
Go ahead, Arya.
I move that council give second reading to,
You got to come out of public hearing first.
sorry. I move that council come out of public hearing.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous? You're a little anxious to jump the gun there.
Here, let me go, give it another go here. I move that council give second reading to bylaw 1236-26, proposing portion southeast 31-4808 west of the 5th meridian, be rezoned from agricultural to agricultural holdings.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Kara?
I move third reading to bylaw 1236-26.
Discussion? All those in favor? Okay, that's carried unanimous for, I don't know if you folks or anybody here is in regards to that application or not. Okay, well, we'll go on to the next one then, the Land Use Bylaw Amendment, 1237-26. Kara?
I move to go into public hearing for bylaw 1237-26.
Discussion? Yep.
We're just gonna wait till 10.
Meeting back to order. Somebody want to make a motion to go in to public hearing? What's that? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, so the floor is open. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning, Regent Council.
Morning.
Rezoning application 26A-002, located on pages 37 through 70 of the agenda package, has been submitted to rezone 4.99 acre parcel known as Lot 2, Block 1, Plan 0923060, within Southeast 1157 west of the 5th Meridian, from agricultural to industrial or rural industrial. The proposed rezoning has been requested to allow the operation of a truck repair and salvage business and possibly a dog breeding business as permitted under the rural industrial zoning. The subject land is located south of Township Road 502 and immediately west of Range Road 71 as shown on the land location map on page 41. The application was circulated for review and comments to external agencies, internal departments, and adjacent landowners. External comment was received from Fortis Alberta, which advised that they had no concerns, conditions, or easements. Internal comments were provided by Public Works, Community Services, and Agricultural Services. Agricultural Services advised of the soil information, but had no concern with the proposed rezoning. Community Services advised that the majority of concerns in the county are related to unsightly premises and animal control issues. Therefore, compliance with the community standards and animal control bylaws would be required for the proposed businesses under the rural industrial district. Public Works advised that consideration for a number of factors needed to be taken into consideration, including the minimizing impacts to adjacent properties, runoff, fencing, dust control, and hauling, and those all would need to be considered. 16 letters of concern were received from adjacent and nearby landowners, and those are attached for consideration by council on pages 48 through 70 of your agenda. A summary of the concerns raised within these letters includes impacts to traffic, visual and noise interference, water runoff and contamination, as well as negative effects on crops and livestock. All of the letters are attached in Appendix A as indicated. Policy considerations were set out in the report to council on April 7th and confirmed that the proposed rezoning is consistent with the county's municipal development plan and the land use bylaw. The lands do not fall within any intermunicipal development plan or area structure plan. Bylaw 1237-26 is before council today to decide if to proceed to second and third readings to rezone the 4.99 acre parcel, or to refuse the proposed rezoning, or potentially to table the bylaw with direction for additional information to be provided either by administration or the applicant. Thank you.
All right, any comments from councilors, first of all? A lot of letters, lots of concerns. Okay, I'll go to the public. Yeah, okay. You got to come down to the floor, just so that we can read it on the or hear it on the microphone and the recordings. just state your name for the record and what issues you want us to know about.
Well, my issue right now is I couldn't hear a word that she said. I've got hearing aids, so if we could, whoever does the speaking, I would like
To be able to hear it?
be able to hear.
Okay, all right.
And I'll be back maybe later.
Okay, that's fine. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay.
I just couldn't hear the lead.
Just before you sit down, sir, the presentation, if you have a copy of the agenda, and if not, excellent. Ms. Tina's going to bring you a copy. What she was talking about was on page 37, page 38, and page 39 in that document she's just handed you.
All right, is there any folks in the bleachers there? Got any issues or supporting it, not supporting it?
Good morning,
It'll be red there.
Good morning, Council and Administration. My name is Nadine Stafford, and I am an adjacent landowner to this property. I'm here today to formally express my opposition to the proposed salvage yard development across from my agriculture property. My family and I actively farm this land and maintain livestock on it. We take pride in caring for our property and the surrounding environment, and we are deeply concerned about the environmental impacts this development will bring. Salvage yards carry risks such as soil and water contamination, increased dust, noise, and possibly hazard materials affecting nearby agriculture and operations. Recently, there was a truck that went by on a trailer, and the fenders were going crazy in the wind, and it was an impact to my horses out in my pasture. Salvage yards carry risks such as soil and water contamination, increased dust, noise, and possible of hazard materials affecting nearby agriculture operations. These risks are not theoretical. They directly threaten the liability of our land and the health of our livestock. In addition to environmental concerns, there is a clear impact on property value that borders such operations. Just west of Drayton Valley, on Range Road 82, there is an existing salvage yard with a newly built home directly across from it. Currently, this property has been listed for $950,000 and has remained unsold for nearly 2 years. You can imagine probably why. The situation reflects the very real negative effects that proximities to salvage yards can have on residential, desirable, and property investment. Our area is the heart of agriculture land, home of many farmers, such as the Zakiras, the Jeffreys, and the Dusterhoffs. They bring a lot to our agriculture and our community. Introducing an industrial operation of this nature into such a setting risks undermining not just individual properties, but the integrity and future of the entire Rocky Rapids farming community. I understand...
Okay, I got it now.
Got it?
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
I understand this is their livelihood and their business venture, respectfully so, as I'm also a business owner. And I can recommend many other reasonable places to house such a business, but not in the heart of agriculture lands. I respectfully urge Council to consider the long-term environmental, economic, and community impacts of this proposal and to reject the development in its current location. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Did you hear that? Could you hear me? Oh, yeah, state your name for the record and what your issue is there.
Michelle Kelly, and I live right beside the proposal. I have livestock and horses. I also work for Jeffries that have the bordering land on the other side that have livestock, cattle. My biggest concern, basically everything Nadine touched on. And the dog breeding facility, what does this narrow it down to? Like the noise violation, we're agricultural. We don't need dogs chasing our livestock. We don't need dogs coming onto our property, which they've already have, we've bear witness to. There's just so many concerns involving dog breeding facility, what that narrows it down to. How are they gonna contain the noise? How are they gonna contain the dogs? The automotive wrecking yard, it's an eyesore, it's a noise violation, it brings unwanted traffic, it brings people from everywhere to come to a business when we're not home at our homes. We're gone to work, and these guys are having people come out to our country, our little community. What does it bring to us? Is it gonna bring theft? Like, who shops at a salvage yard? What kind of people is that, honestly? I mean, council, give you guys, you know, have a thought about it. You know, we live in the country for a reason. We're agricultural. We don't live in town where there's industrial. We live out in the agricultural business, the community. Come on, like, you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys are all looking at me, kind of maybe nodding, thinking about it, but this is gonna bring soil contamination, noise violation, unwanted traffic, people looking into our yards that are from the cities that should never be out in our backyard. We don't need it. I could go on and on and on, but I'm too scared to talk because this is the first time I've ever done this, but here I am trying. So just, we're opposed, there's too many what ifs, there's too many things that need to be addressed, and I'm just saying, like, give us a chance. We're agriculture for a reason, and industrial belongs in town on the pavement. Thanks, guys.
I just actually have one more comment on the dog breeding facility aspect of the application. I just want council to, I guess, reflect on many other issues that are happening in our county, right here in Brazeau County, with some dog breeding issues currently. I know that you guys probably all know what I'm talking about, and I just don't feel like we need any more of that going on.
My name is Lisa Schaefer. We're the ones that put the application in. We just wanted to address some of the stuff that's going on and some of the concerns that people have had. We have. So on the first page, you can see where there is in orange right here, which is where we had intention on having the parts. So this isn't a salvage yard, this is parts. The vehicles are brought into the shop, all the fluids are emptied, there's a tote outside that all the fluids are emptied into. We do have, I think it's Retro Oil Fields come in and they will suck all of that out. Customers contact us, they ask us for parts, we remove the parts, and they're sold. They're either shipped, they may come We don't we have no intention on having more than 10 vehicles. We would like to fence the property where this is going to be. In the top right corner, the concern was water contamination. Our future is to put something in place, whether that be a culvert for the runoff to go off of our property, so to hopefully sort of build up that corner. It's not just that the runoff is a problem, it comes onto our property as well, and we don't want that either, so we want to build it up. In regards to the dog breeding business, bylaw here allows 5 dogs. I have no intention on having more than 5. I have one right now that is my pet, that's in my home, and we have 2 females and 2 males. We have secured fencing, the stuff that's in red, that's where our dogs are right now. They're secured, they come in and out in our dog door, they're put in overnight, they're in their crates, they're brought out in the morning. If you look just past that with the orange, that's where we have intention of bringing the fencing out to. There will be I guess a shed, as you can call it, that's going to be out there so that if the dogs once their puppies are old enough, they'll go out there, they'll have their playtime. This is going to be fenced so that there's not going to be any problems with them seeing livestock. They don't leave the yard. They're not running amok. We've had it fenced since we've moved in. We have no intention, we're not here to upset anybody. We just would like to continue doing what we're doing. It's not, the rest of the property is just going to be our property for us to do, whether it's cutting the lawn or whether it's having a couple of things there. We're not having any intention on using the whole property. We do have letters from the other place, the other 3 papers that are on there, and it just says on here that just how we had it before, and we've had happy customers in regards to theft. Even when we were in 100 Mile, we only had 1 person that had come on the property, but it wasn't even a theft. They had come in looking for us. We've never had that problem. We're not a salvage yard. We're just looking to sell our parts. The vehicles won't be in there longer than 3 to 6 months. If we can't sell the vehicle, it gets taken out. We don't have other people coming in and bringing the vehicles. We will bring the vehicles in, we will bring the vehicles out, make sure everything is maintained. Anything to say?
I was going to say something, but I forget.
I understand that there's been a lot of letters that have come against us, but I don't think that people knew exactly what we were planning when it was kind of put to us that they thought that we were going to have the whole 5 acres and we were going to have vehicles all in it and dogs running around in it, and that's not the case. Our dogs are registered, they're health tested. I've been breeding for 5-ish years, and I'd like to keep doing that. It's not that our dogs go all over the place. It's not just one specific place. They don't stay in Alberta. Some of them go to BC. We've had some in Manitoba. They're not for, it's not a backyard breeding. I don't know if that's even, like, we take care of our pets really well, so.
And we're not here to have a huge, like, for the business, for the parts. It's just pretty much my name, PLS Parts, to be out into the community, to help people. I like service work a lot, to help out things in the community. I used to do that in 100 Mile all the time. I had cops come by my yard and chit-chat, and that was the first time in my recovery I ever did that. And, you know, it's part of me giving back in my sobriety. And what I'd like to do is just have something I can provide for my family, and it's not going to be as big ordeal. And yes, I will respect my neighbors, and you know, we're trying to make it as courteous as we can to work with each other, right? Because I don't want water coming like this year. The whole front of our driveway was all water, and then it's washing over our driveway, and so I want to prevent that from happening, just not for ourselves, but because I know now that there's a runoff coming down in that area, so I'd like to prevent that.
We're just asking that we can be able to be I guess, official, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that it's more that we can say this is who we are and this is where we are, and we were doing it in BC and we'd like to carry that over here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Council. My name's Dale Dusteroft. I farm with my brother on, it would be southwest of 1257, which is the property directly to the east. Our concern lies in the runoff that's going to come off here. I'm not worried about the next 6 months or even the next year, but after years of having vehicles there. We have, as we see every spring, the water flows off of the cemetery hill across the road through the yard and into our property. And in our property, we have a dugout there that we water our cattle out of. During the summer, there's about 20 pair in there. And then sometimes during the winter, when we're doing our winter feeding on there, we can have upwards of 150 cattle out there. Our concern is with the contamination is the stress that it can put on the livestock and possibly losing livestock to it. And then also from there, our dugout feeds directly, not directly, but it runs through a system of creeks, and it eventually ends up in the North Saskatchewan River, which is roughly 2 miles away from our dugout. So the issues that we have are related to contamination, oil, coolant, other stuff like that. I don't know what the effects of coolant are on cattle, but I've seen what it does to dogs. So that's where we're at on it. That's our opposition to it. We just really want to avoid the contamination. I don't want to start losing cattle. I don't know if anybody pays attention to cattle markets, but pairs start dropping. Their low end's $5,000 a pair right now, and we have 15 to 20 pair across the road all summer. So, yeah, that's our concern. So, thank you. That's correct. Yeah. So that whole cemetery hill comes down towards Range Road 71 there. Right at the corner of the properties, so right where you'd have the four quarters come together, which is basically right where the shop is right now. There's a culvert that flows directly into one of our fields there, and then about another 100 meters down the road or 200 meters down the road, it crosses again into our property. Both of those feed a dugout that we have. The dugout's been there, I don't know, my dad, I think, put it there in the 70s, something like that. It's been there for a while. We have it bermed, but there is a culvert there, so when it overflows, it does leave the dugout. So, and to the best of my knowledge, like oils and stuff like that would float on top of the water, so that's going to be the first stuff going out that culvert there that's going to inevitably end up in the North Saskatchewan. So thank you.
Anybody else wanting to speak for or against this?
Good morning, Reeve and councillors. My name is Louise Allchurch. I don't think I have to add any more because my community, my neighbors that I really cherish, they've said it all. So I really wish you guys listen. Thank you.
My name is Bob Weir, and I own the 50 acres kitty corner across the Range Road 71. And on the corner, I overheard when you made your presentation about a culvert. I wondered where the culvert was going. Is it going to go, because I don't want the water that's off of that. My biggest concern is what the plan is to tear down equipment and vehicles and the mess that is going to make on the corner. And it will, I am afraid that I will be directly impacted financially for the value of that property if there's a mess right across the road from it. I have a well on that property, and if for some reason, if I build a facility on there, a barn or whatever, it would have to be between the well and fence line that goes east-west on the south side. So I will be impacted, and I also am concerned about the dog breeding and what it will do, how will they be kept in control, and I don't want the dogs across on the property either. So that's my concerns.
The topography of what the lay of the land is, but I see there's a couple of creeks. Does it actually go down just like it's from the top of the screen down and to the east there? Is that kind of where the natural water flows are?
There's three that run right from the top of the cemetery hill that come straight down, one or two through Sullivan's property, and then one that comes down across Scott Jeffrey's property, and they all run, two of them run into the corner of the acreage, and they go across the road straight into Dustin House. One comes into Brad Sullivan's property, and then it goes again across the Dustin House.
Okay, so it follows what I was kind of saying, it just, you're kind of tracking down there. Yeah. Okay.
All into the south of Bob's property as well.
So, there's like on the.
I really need to have you guys come and speak, because we have to take notes on all of this stuff, and it's hard to remember it all.
Hey, Dale Dustroft again. Do we have a map of, or like a satellite footage or a photo that we can pull up, or is that an option?
Just while they pull up this map, I just have a couple other comments after the applicant spoke. She stated that Nadine Stafford, they'll continue to do what they've always been doing, and which would, they've obviously been doing this for some time without proper permitting in place. So I just wanted to note that. And they say it's not a salvage yard, but I encourage every one of you counselors to drive down Whitby Hall Road and turn south onto 71. And I'm pretty sure you will know exactly where this property is, because there are vehicles piled up there currently, and it looks like a salvage yard. And then to build up the property that they are on would, in my opinion, cost thousands and thousands of dollars, because it does run from the top of the cemetery hill, which on Whitby Hall is quite a slope all the way down to the bottom, and it continues even past my property to run downhill. So I'm not sure how you would build that property up enough to contain the water flow.
So that right there is the property that is in question. So top of the map's going to be north. On the north side of their driveway, there's a culvert right there, and that flows in along our tree line into our small hay field there. You can see on the bigger field that surrounds the property there that we farm that field, and we've left a drainage there to avoid erosion in the years that it was under cultivation. As it flows into our property, which is the one to the east there, there's multiple, can we zoom in on that a little bit? So you guys have the waterways highlighted right there. You can see the waterways flow in, and there is another one that's not showing there just on the south side of the lease road. You guys have a culvert there. Every winter or every spring, the county comes out there. You guys have your track hoe that's on a rubber tire, like you use it for running down the roads. You guys have to come clear out that snow, and if you guys don't clear out that snow, that whole road between basically from the north property line south to our lease road, the water flows over that entire lease road. So there's this considerable amount of runoff that comes in there, and if you look at the waterways on that map on the east side of the range road there, all that water flows into a dugout. There's a dugout inside those trees there, and all that water flows into our dugout. And then you can follow the creeks through our property, and then it goes out into Shattuck's property and then down into the river valley. And once it gets into that river valley, it flattens out, but there's a couple drainages that have been dug in over the years. And once it's in that river valley, you're about a mile off the North Saskatchewan down there. So, thank you.
Thanks again. Once again, the floor is open for any other individuals that want to say something.
Lisa Schaefer again. I took pictures. We have cameras on our property, and we have pictures that show that this is not, our yard sits right now having 3 vehicles in it. And they are, if she's pulling it up, they're right where the shop is. You'll see the little white stuff just sort of to the right of it. Yeah, that's where the vehicles are. The intended culvert would be towards the front of the road, to the front there, where the fence is now, to build a culvert and build that up, so that the culvert would have any water that comes in, it would come in and down and under. We don't have any intention, all our vehicles are going into the shop. All the fluids are already drained out of them. Whatever parts we need are already taken out before it even comes over there. The risk of that kind of spillage, they're so small. There is no risk of any vehicles sitting. We don't bring 10 vehicles in at a time. We bring 1 vehicle in at a time. We put it in. We have a tote in the back of the property, and that's where all of those oils would go into, and then they are, like I said, taken out. I don't know if I can show you this, or if you need to see it, to see the pictures of what our property looks like. As for the, I know there was a question about the dog breeding. I have done it for 5 years prior to coming here. It's not that I was doing it, the rules are different here than they are in BC. In BC, anybody can breed a dog, anybody can have their stuff. Not saying that Alberta can't. It's that I want to be able to say, this is our business. Not that I have to say, we breed these dogs. Lots of people do these things. There's lots of people, there's dogs that are out there right now that are pregnant, and I'm not saying that they're not being raised properly or anything else. I know it can be a problem, but we already have a base of people that look for Australian Shepherds as it is, which is, sorry, that's what I breed. I just don't, I don't speak well up here, but I guess I'm trying to defend myself the best I can. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this right here, this is the fence line that stops, that goes to our backyard. So our backyard has the windbreak. We have a fence here. The windbreak comes through, it comes over here. and then it comes down here, and this is our fencing that we have. This here will be our permanent fencing. It was something temporary to see if we wanted it bigger, wanted it smaller, what we wanted to do. We would like to come across our deck and up and over. We're not looking for the whole property, we're just looking for a small portion of it, just to give the dogs a bigger run. This is our yard right now, so this is our front yard, this is our driveway. Oh, sorry. This is right here, this is where our road is, this is where the culvert is. When the water comes down here, this is where we would want to put the culvert, so that we know that if the water's going to run off, it's going to run into there and down through and underneath. This is where we have no culvert here at all. It comes across here, it comes over, and it comes back on this side. I don't know how much more to say than to, this is just something that we've been wanting to do, and we came here to be able to continue doing what we're doing and hopefully to retire here. Thank you.
This is the participation chamber where we force you to go up and down stairs a half a dozen times.
I'm still confused about this culvert. Is the culvert going to go east and west across the, well, if it goes down between where you are and I am, it goes down there, and then there's a creek that heads to the northeast. So anything that's contaminated here, yeah, that's, you can see the
Do we have a pointer or not? No?
That screen right there, sir.
On the screens right there.
That's what we see.
Okay, right here. So, anything that comes down the old Cemetery Hill, down here, and through here, it'll end up down in my creek right here. So it's right down here, right at,
Okay, well, I'm dizzy.
down in here and then down.
I get the point there. It goes east from the property along the line there and dumps into the creek that runs basically north and south.
Runs north and south.
Okay.
It's a creek, and I have to be able to get, there's kind of a keyhole on the east side of these trees. So you come in here, and then there's about 10 acres to get here, but I don't want this to wash over.
Okay.
I'm not a geologist, but I don't think there's any way to stop any contaminated fluids.
You gotta come up here. If nothing else, I'll tire you out.
I'm not an environmentalist, but just knowing the lay of the land, there is no physical way to stop any contaminated fluids from flowing west to east, just the lay of the land. The back of my property is, kind of maybe one of the lower points, and it's wet back there because it all flows from the top of the Cemetery Hill down.
Okay, thank you. You gotta go up. It's really hard. There's probably the worst acoustics in the whole building, and
We don't have any fluids in the vehicles. They're emptied before they're even put on the property. Sorry. They're brought in, they're emptied, all the fluids are emptied. The parts are off, and then the empty vehicle is put on the property. so that to have any kind of contaminant runoff or leakage, it's not gonna happen. It's not like this is something we've been doing for a long time. When we were in BC, we had the same problem, the place that we leased. He didn't want any of that stuff either, so we made sure we had the totes, we had people that came, they emptied it, we never had a problem. Batteries, they're in the shop. We don't have to worry about leakage from the batteries. We've made sure we've taken every step we can to make sure that everybody is as safe as can be.
I do just have one more comment again. A business is business. There's many places to house a business like this, in Brazeau Business Park, in an industrial area of town that's equipped for this type of business venture, I guess. And I'll just state to council, I feel wholeheartedly that I'm not trying to undermine what they're doing, but I feel like that there are better places for this business opportunity to be done out of.
Council Michelle Kelly again.
Brad Sullivan. I own the remaining 105 acres surrounding the acreage we're talking about. And the water issue is my concern. And the runoff, we know that it runs through there and it's gonna carry stuff away. Plus we have expensive horses that are gonna be housed fairly close to the dog breeding facility, and I just don't think it's all gonna work. And everything else that's been touched on is exactly how I feel, because there's a lot of water runs through the remaining 105 acres and the Jeffrey land and comes through that corner. So
Another concern we have is garbage that's migrated. I have pictures on my phone of barrels laying in the ditch underwater from this property. Plastic in our fence that we've continuously picked up. Our horses going through a hot fence because the plastic from their place migrated into we share the property line and scared the horses. It could be a vet bill. It's a very expensive vet bill if it ever does happen. We got away with it, but we continuously pick up garbage. They get a lot of wind because they're down at the bottom of the cemetery hill, and it's pretty wide open, so a lot of wind comes through their land, and there's constantly garbage in the trees. I have pictures, I've picked up stuff. I know they say they drain the fluids and stuff out of vehicles. I have witnessed and I have followed a truck being loaded on a trailer, headed out to the Whippy Hall Road, all the way up to the cemetery, and it did leak transmission fluid all over the road. I took video of it. This was when they first got started. They say they're taking action to keep contamination down, but the big red trail of transmission fluid all the way up to the top of the cemetery hill isn't keeping contamination down. So this is why we're all pulled together as a community, as neighbors and as friends. 16 letters sent in is something to consider, folks. It's obviously concerning to us and the people that didn't come today, people that didn't get to write their letters. It's concern. We're agricultural, we're not industrial. Anything else you want to touch on?
I think that we've covered most everything, all of the concerns. So,
thank you for your time.
Hey, Reeve, how did you want to tackle the public hearing 1240-25 that was supposed to be at 10:30? Did you want to continue this, or did you want to pause this and go into that?
Coming up here right now too. We might just have to take a pause on this, go into public session here right now and deal with that, and then go back And we can either table this one, right? And then go back to the other one because we've missed its due date already, or timeline.
Bart, may I? My suggestion would be actually the opposite. We continue with this one. There's a lot of people here, and we can get through it, then we can get on with the rest.
Okay, well,
But
that's, yeah, we
My
can-
suggestion is let's finish with this one first.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go into public input session because that's already set up. So at 11 o'clock, we open up the public input for any issue, not this particular one, it can be this one, but it's really to give the public an opportunity to bring forward ideas. And we always ask if you've got some ideas or changes you want us to make, we ask that you try to provide us a solution. So I'm gonna open it up right now. This is a standard practice that we have, is public input. And we're just gonna have to, technically, yeah, maybe we should do that and then I'll open it up again. No, we'll keep going with the issue, but public, I don't like to violate the public input time that we set aside at 11 o'clock. Okay? So. Yes. Yeah. So put a motion. Okay, I'll just pause it. If you guys don't hang me for that. So we're going into a regular session that we have every council meeting, and it's called public input. And like I said, it's to deal with any issue in the county that hasn't necessarily had time to bring it forward. Doesn't mean we'll have an answer for you, but we'll just give you a good listening to, and then we'll deal with it at some point. So it's open right now for public input.
Council, Michelle Kelly again. Okay, I'm not sure if this is the right, because it's public input, I'm not sure how this works, but what are some things that the county can do to help with noise violation of the dog breeding facility? How are we going to contain noise and the obvious soil contamination? Are we going to test the soils around this area? Are we going to test water wells around the area? We have artesian wells, like 3 or 4 of us neighbors close have artesian wells. Are we going to test the well water yearly, monthly, to see if there is any sort of contamination?
So the county isn't just going to randomly go out and start checking people's places for contamination. You know, usually if there's an issue, it has to deal with somebody doing a development, right? Or there's been a long-term standing issue that's been going on that's been leaking, you know, if that's what you're looking for. So that's where we're at with those kinds of things. And like I said, we're going to have more time after this public input session. I know it's confusing, but it's a public input for general everything. So normally we try to round this up before public input. There's a lot of people that need to be heard, so we've got to give you some more time. So that there's still going to be time to talk about those things.
And like, would a biologist be involved or an environmentalist be involved before the county takes action in making their final decision on the acreage?
I don't know the list of people that could do things if that's the direction that council wanted to go. Generally, it's up to the developer to decide that. And so those issues could be put forward, and somebody would have to make a ruling on that, on whether or not they had to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. So once again, I'm really looking for any input other than this particular issue that's on the table right now, because we'll go back to that input as well. This was generally always set up for any issue that's out there. And if there's nobody here that have any outside issues, we'll close this part of public input and go back to the public input in regards to the hearing. It's just, it's a little confusing, but I'm hoping I'm explaining it good enough. Is there anybody online that has anything to say? Okay. Shane, what did you ask? You want to put your light on? I don't know what you're saying. No, we're good. All right, so if there's nobody for public input, our traditional public input, I'm gonna step out of that, and we'll go back to what we were talking about. As Kara has said, she says, let's continue on with this. If there's more people that want to say something different than what's already been said. That's you guys now.
I am Philip Schaefer. To do with transmission oil, I never go up Whippy Road when I take vehicles after they've been drained. I take them onto my trailer and then I go down the dirt road, down 71, and then back into town that way. So I don't go up Whippy Road for any,
Okay.
with any scrap vehicles or anything like that. Just so you guys know.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I don't know, councillors, how you want to deal with this. We can come out of input. I'm only going to throw a suggestion out. Whether you guys want to do that or not is up to you. I was thinking about tabling this so that we could get some better direction on where the creeks are flowing, some different ortho pictures there so we can see what's going on, and have staff check out the place to make sure things that are being said are correct, and then that can be qualified. Or you've got three options. You can just outright shut it down if you want to do that. You can pass it and do that, or you can table it to get some more information, which is what I'm suggesting. But that'll have to be up to council to make a motion in one of those three areas.
Sounds good.
Go ahead, Dallas.
Reeve, do you mind if I ask the applicant a couple of questions? Philip, would you mind coming to the microphone just for a minute? So you provided us with this, these images here. So are these some of the images that you have from your previous residence in 100 Mile House? Is that what this is?
For the vehicles?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the,
Yeah, that was on a way bigger scale. I had like
Yeah.
150 vehicles there, I think, at one time. And every single one of them were always drained because my landlord at the time, that was a mandatory thing. If I wasn't, because the place I was before that, he came and looked at it all and he approved it all. And that was a big thing for him because then he'd have to come in there, dig it all up in hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he did not want that at all. And then when I left, the scrap yard beside me, or the tow yard, I should say, looks like a scrap yard, they called me up and we were talking one time and they said that the landlord was very pleased how we left it.
So when you acquire a vehicle, it's not necessarily a vehicle that's been in an accident?
No.
And do you acquire it privately, or typically do you get it from a wrecker?
No.
A tow?
Privately.
Privately?
Yeah.
I see.
If I find one at an auction, maybe if
Oh, I
it's
see.
cheap enough, or if I find something and somebody's like, I have googly eyes sometimes, I look for vehicles.
Right.
And I buy them and then I just strip them apart, take the cats off and all the metals and.
I see. And your focus is mainly automotive?
Yep.
Not heavy trucks, not big trucks?
No.
Just automotive applications?
Yep.
Okay. And is it possible that you could have the fluids drained, batteries removed, brake fluid taken out prior to it entering your property? Is that possible?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because they're all contained, right?
All right.
So they're all sealed up. But I bring them in just because I don't want it on my property.
Yeah, right.
I don't want it to look like a junkyard.
Right. So if you don't mind me asking, are you a technician? Are you a mechanic by trade or
Nope.
something of that nation?
I just have a hobby for it, and I started out of my recovery in
Okay.
100 Mile.
Just something you're
and-
really good at?
Yeah, I love it. It's a passion, so.
I see, fair enough. What type of dog were you owning?
Australian Shepherds.
Australian Shepherds?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's got Sadie and Sienna right now, and I think was it one litter a year, I think, out of each. So we don't abuse the dogs because they're like our family.
No, of course not.
So it's just for extra income, right? That's why she's doing that. because she doesn't work. So she's helping me out, because I'm the breadwinner, I guess, you could say in the Bible.
What type of dog is that? Is that a cattle dog, or is that
It's an Australian Shepherd.
is it good for sheep, or is it good for, I don't know, I'm not familiar with that.
More for family.
Yeah.
They're just
These
very
guys
friendly
are
dogs.
not-
Yeah.
They're not, I'm sorry? They're
Nope.
Australian Shepherds.
So they can be a cow dog.
They could be, yeah,
Okay.
they could be. That's what I was trying to get across.
Mhm.
They don't have the drive. These guys don't have the drive for that.
I see, interesting. All right, no further questions, thank you. These guys might have a question for you. I'm not sure.
I got a question for you. Mostly on the dog breed, if I may.
Go ahead, Shane.
Are you AKC, CKC?
CKC.
You are CKC registered?
Yeah,
Okay.
CKC,
Do you show?
ASDR. I'm not showing.
No.
So it took me 8 days to prep for this. I have agoraphobia, so it's taken me a lot to even come stand here.
That's, no, you're good. I was just curious if they're
That's
registered,
sort of
so.
what I do as my hobby, right? Because it's about bettering the breed. It's about this guy that we just, the guy that we just have acquired this last year. He's actually show quality, so it's something that I'm working with another breeder friend of mine to actually make and hopefully breed into show. That's my hope, so.
Shane, you done? Aria?
Hi. I just want to start by thanking everyone for coming out today to voice concerns and the applicants for coming as well. I have a couple questions for you guys. So you sell parts, is that online or people come to you physically for the
Online.
parts? It's all online?
Yeah, Facebook.
Okay, and then in BC where you were operating, was that amongst agricultural or kind of what was the lay of the land there in your previous business?
It was sort of both. So there was, I don't know if you can call it rural industrial, there was a house there, there was a yard, there was a yard to the side. At the end of that road was a tow yard that had their tow scrap yard, and then we were there as well.
Okay.
So maybe,
So not really surrounded by ag, like in this kind of situation?
no, because it was all properties surrounded by it.
Okay. So then, when you bought your property at Brazeau, you guys knew it was zoned for agricultural?
We did.
Okay. And then, I'm just gonna, in my opinion, I think that the parts business and the dog breeding are just two separate issues here. So, I would maybe take a little bit of a look into that, because I don't think you necessarily need to be rezoned to have your dog breeding. So I think that just falls more into the permits and things like that. I understand why you kind of added it, but I think the main concern here, from what I'm hearing, is the parts business. So I would maybe just kind of everyone separate that, because I think we're talking about two different issues and it's kind of muddying the waters a little bit. But yeah, I think that's
why we went with rural industrial. Because then we were allowed to have both. It was suggested to us to do a CDC or C commercial something council, where we would come into you and ask if we were allowed to do such things. And then when we were speaking about the breeding, that's when rural industrial was brought up.
Right.
Because there was a future of being able to do that.
Just a suggestion or a thought, I guess, depending on how it goes here today, just maybe there's different avenues that you can look at in terms of the dog breeding side. So, yeah, I think that was all my comments, so thank you.
So through the chair, so when it was noted what kind of people shop at a an auto wrecker, it would be me. We did it when I was a kid. I needed parts, right? It's hard to find parts sometimes, and so yeah, that would be me. That's the person that's going to come to an auto parts dealership to get a part that I need. That said, that we've had a pretty terrible example west of town here with an auto wrecker, and it made quite a mess on the land. So that just set precedent, and it makes it very unappealing to ever think of putting that on agricultural land. So I would want you guys to think, if this doesn't work out the way, there are other places in Brazeau County that are designated rural industrial that are very inexpensive to purchase. Up around Cynthia, I would recommend. But yeah, like I said, I do agree with the dog breeding operation. That's just a permit. You just apply for a permit for that, and then it goes that way. But I thank you for your time, and totally understand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so no more input right now? I've thrown out a suggestion, but we'll have to come out of public input right now in regards to this. What's that? Yeah, public hearing. What did I say? Public input. I got half of it right, Glenn.
I move to come out of public hearing for bylaw 1237-26.
Discussion? All those in favor? Thanks.
Are we going to continue on with this one, or?
Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead,
my
Kara.
question is, actually, it's to you, Chair. If we were to table it, what more information would you be looking for?
Well, everybody's pointed, whether it's a solid hand or a shaky hand, where the creeks are. I still don't know exactly where that's flowing, so I'd like to see some maps showing that out, showing the flows that are going on there. Right now, it seems like it's a very small application for an auto wreckers, but done in a different way where it's all sold online. So I see some value there. The dog breeding, you're allowed to have 5 dogs already. So, you know, you don't even have to apply for the dog breeding. Everybody's allowed to have up to 5 dogs. That means you have to manage them and look after them as well. So, and it's not always an acres guy's dogs that runs across somebody else's lands. I've had other farmers, their dogs come to my place. So, that's just a problem in general with dealing with animals. Oh, there you are, Carol.
If I might just ask a question through the chair to administration on this property, or on this application. They had mentioned that they had come to you and asked about, there was a possibility of going commercial, but with the dog breeding, that was the rural industrial designation permit was then applied for. If they took the dog breeding piece out of that, what would have been the original application?
Through the chair to Councillor Volk, we had discussed a number of zoning options when we spoke with the applicants. There was talk of the light industrial, potentially commercial use, or a direct control, which I believe is what they were referring to, where any applications would come through council and it would be established specifically for the uses that they're proposing. I believe that the reason that this rural industrial was chosen was because both the animal services facility and the auto business that they're proposing, the way it fits under our definitions, those are both permitted uses within rural industrial, whereas in light industrial, they're discretionary, so they're not guaranteed to get the permits for those uses.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody's trying to live their lives the way they want. Sometimes, you know, another person's actions affects them negatively or vice versa. It's a tough decision to make here, but I think you need to separate the dogs. The dog issue is creating you to go to an industrial application. And when you're allowed to have 5 dogs anyway, everybody's allowed to have 5 dogs. But if you plan on doing more than that, then you need to apply for a dog license. So, Kara, you got your light on?
Yeah, I was prepared to make a motion. I move that council refuses to give second reading to bylaw 1237-26.
to refuse the application? Well, Carol, any comments?
Are we in discussion?
Yes, we're in discussion.
Thank you. Could I just ask a question? What are the ramifications by refusing to give second reading? Does that mean the applicant can come back under a different designation? Or does that just put a halt to it for a period of time?
It's done until somebody makes another motion for something else, at another time. Go ahead.
Through the chair to Councillor Volk, I do not believe that there is a resubmission interval if they were looking at proposing a different rezoning. So if it were looking at going to a direct control or to a light industrial district, I don't believe any of our resubmission interval requirements would then apply because they would be looking at something different. If they were to then turn around and apply for the same thing, then we would probably be looking at having a year wait before that could be brought forward.
Could apply for a direct control.
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
So by breaking out the dog breeding section from the parts business, they could apply for just the parts business under a different heading, is that correct?
Through the chair, that is correct. Well, depending on the zoning that was being chosen. And whether or not the automotive business that's being proposed is discretionary or permitted within that zoning district. And if it were a direct control district, then we'd be looking at specifically how those uses were included as either permitted or discretionary. And because the landowners are wanting to seek approval for both businesses unless they were completely relinquishing one of them, I would assume that the direct control district being proposed would include those uses. Whether they were content to try for discretionary use or permitted, that's something we'd have to work with the landowners on. But council may be looking at the same type of options under a direct control.
Direct control, which council has to approve.
Yes, then council would approve any development permits going forward for any uses or developments on the property.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, right now, it's Kara's motion is just to cancel it completely. No dog breeding, no car parts. So that's why I'm looking for solutions. But there is a motion on the floor and we have to deal with it. If I was in your shoes, and I try to always put myself in the guy's shoes, I'd go for a direct control and just stay with the parts. That's what I would do, but, no, there's no more public input. Once we close it, yeah, it's done. Otherwise, we'll keep hashing it over and over and over, but that's you guys' decision. So, right now, Kara's motion is to cancel both of them. Those in favor? Those opposed? Okay, so that motion is lost. Yeah, so there was 4 people in that opposed. There was Dallas, Bart, Carol, and Shane. So now it's sitting in limbo till somebody makes another motion, because you didn't get approval there. You didn't get shut down 100% either. Just so that you know what's at stake here right now. So, what's on the floor right now is whether or not we approve this, or do we approve it with just a portion? I'm not sure. Can I split up I can't split their application up. So what's the solution, how to deal with this, if you can read my mind? What's that?
Sorry, you keep muddying the waters when we're talking about businesses. We're dealing with the rezoning,
Yeah.
period. Whether
Right.
we're gonna rezone it from agricultural holdings to zone it towards rural industrial. Businesses aside, they have to get, those are different permits. We're here on the rezoning application.
Okay, so the application is to rezone it to industrial.
And that's why I asked for the
Okay. What's your wishes, folks?
Well, I'll move second reading. The bylaw 123727, proposing Lot 2, Block 1, Plan 0923060 within southeast of 11, 57 west of the 5th meridian, 4.99 acres, 2.02 hectares, be rezoned from agricultural holdings to rural industrial, as shown on the attached Schedule A. Moving second reading.
Okay, so with that, if the applicants come in to change it, do they have to start over? If they wanted to just have the car thing, if they came in and says, we want to remove the dog breeding portion of it out, can they do that before third reading?
I think better, maybe to answer the question, is what is allowed in rural industrial needs to be listed. What is permitted?
Both the proposed businesses are permitted under the rural industrial district, in which case we must issue permits, right, for permitted uses. So if the rezoning proceeds, we can include conditions on the development permits that will be issued for the businesses, but the permits must be issued because those are permitted uses.
And if the applicants come forward and want to change their application to just strictly car parts, if that's what they wanted, could they do that before we do third? Because we're only doing second reading right now.
But this isn't for the permits, this is just for the rezoning, so anything under the rural industrial district would then be permitted or discretionary on that property. So any of those uses, if they're permitted, we have to issue permits on a rural industrial property. Whether it's the car parts, the dog breeding, there are a number of uses that would then be permitted on that land.
I'm thinking changing it to direct control.
Well, then that would be a whole new application for
Okay.
rezoning.
That's what I was looking at.
Okay.
Okay. Huh? I what?
Then you needed to refuse the application and then they needed to apply for direct control. So what is on the ground, like what is up for vote right now, is to allow the rezoning. And then may I just ask again for administration, if the rezoning goes through, what is permitted on rural industrial, meaning that we automatically have to give a permit?
Up on the screen now is the rural industrial district, so everything that's listed here as a permitted use would have to be issued a permit if the property is rezoned to rural industrial. Discretionary uses would require approval through the Municipal Planning Commission. Prior to that, they'd be circulated to adjacent landowners. However, everything as a permitted use, the most that we would then do is issue a permit with conditions.
Okay. So there's a motion on the floor to give second reading. Aria?
Just a point. I think that this is a sensitive thing, and we're dealing with a family this is their livelihood, but I just think we also have to consider the other 16 residents that submitted letters, and it also involves their livelihood too. It's not a personal decision when we make these things, but I just personally think that for this type of business, there's a more suitable area than what we've mentioned. And I'm not referring to the dog breeding. I feel that's a separate issue, but I just feel like this is literally surrounded by agricultural, so it doesn't quite fit, in my opinion. So that's where I stand with it. But with that, it doesn't mean that you can't, this isn't like a closed door. It just, there are other avenues. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Go ahead, Glenn.
So I guess in my case, I wanted to be able to have a place to park oil field tank trucks. And we hunted around for properties for almost a year, but it was a matter of going to talking to neighbors first and going, hey, this is my plan. I want to buy this property. It's got a house on it. I want to put a shop on there. I want to have tank trucks. This is what it's going to look like. And I had a lot of no's, and people just said no, absolutely not, and I would move on. Until finally I found somebody who said yes, and then I bought that property with that intention and made that application. So I think that's a better way to do these sorts of things. When you're gonna, if you're planning on actually doing it, yeah, it's, you know, you're rolling the dice anytime you buy it, then ask after the fact. You should always first find out what the neighbors are thinking first, because that's so important to have that ahead of time. That is my experience.
Okay, well, the question is still on the floor. Any other discussion on second reading? All those in favor? Those opposed? Okay, so that's lost, second reading. So everything's lost then. Yeah. Okay. Other business to attend to.
So I think the public needs an explanation of what happens now, because both have been effectively defeated, correct?
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah,
administration.
so it's just defeated, the application is lost. So, then you folks, yeah, we're not discussing this anymore, I'm just talking to the applicants. If you have any other ideas in mind, then talk to the planners. Okay, so we've got one more public hearing that we're drastically late on.
I move to go into public hearing for bylaw 1240-26.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Okay, so rezoning application 26A-003, located on pages 71 through 79 of the agenda package, has been submitted to rezone approximately 14.9 acres from agricultural to agricultural holdings within a portion of Southeast 1548-7 west of the 5th Meridian, which would allow for the subdivision of an equally sized parcel. The subject lands are located immediately west of Range Road 72 and immediately north of Township Road 482, as shown on the land location map on page 73. The application was circulated for review and comments to external agencies, internal departments, and adjacent landowners. External comments were received from Buck Mountain Gas Co-op, Canada Post, Pembina Pipeline Corporation, TELUS, and Fortis Alberta, all of which advised that they had no concerns, conditions, or setbacks. Alberta Energy Regulator advised of 3 sour gas wells on the subject lands. However, these do not impact the rezoning or subdivision, though they will affect future development. Internal comments were provided by Public Works and Agricultural Services. Public Works requires that 5.18 meters of road widening be dedicated along Range Road 72 on the remnant parcel and the proposed lot. And they confirmed that the approaches to the remnant parcel and the proposed lot meet county specifications. These comments will be reflected in the conditions of subdivision, which will be recommended to the Municipal Planning Commission. Agricultural Services advised of the soil conditions but had no concerns regarding the rezoning and subdivision, and no letters were received from adjacent landowners. Policy considerations were set out in the report to Council on April 7th and confirmed that the proposed rezoning is consistent with the county's municipal development plan and our land use bylaw. This further confirmed that the lands do not fall within any intermunicipal development plan or area structure plan. It is the administration's recommendation that second and third readings be given to bylaw 1240-26 for the rezoning of approximately 14.9 acres from agricultural to agricultural holdings within a portion of Southeast 148.7 west of the 5th meridian. Or sorry, 1548.7. Thank you.
They're asking if you want to speak. Just speak in that microphone. My name is Vic Maxwell. I represent the applicant. For any, if anybody has any questions, it is a farm site. The applicants live in Red Deer and own a number of other parcels of farmland. They have no need for the buildings. They're doctors and live in Red Deer, but they are from farm background and own livestock and run livestock, and they're interested in this parcel of land as pasture and have no need for the buildings. The buildings are serviced by power and 2 water wells, and there's, as well as the dwelling, there's a number of outbuildings. And we think our application is a reasonable application, and we ask your consideration.
No, I'd just like to make a motion. Yeah? Yeah. I move that Brazeau County Council come out of public hearing for Land Use Bylaw Amendment Bylaw 1240-26 to rezone a portion of Southeast 1548.7 west of 5th Meridian from agricultural to agricultural holdings.
I move second reading for bylaw 1240-26 as shown on attached Schedule A.
I move to give third and final reading to bylaw 1240-26, proposing a portion of Southeast 1548.7 west of the 5th, 14.9 acres be rezoned from agricultural to agricultural holdings as shown on the attached Schedule A.
Thank you very much.
I move to adjourn the Brazeau County meeting of May 5th, 2026 at 11:40.